So what do you envision for this area in here?
This would be the main display.
The vision that took a lot of imagination a couple of years ago has become reality. The Texas Musicians Museum is now open in Irving.
You know, it's amazing what memorabilia can do to a wall.
It's memorabilia crossing decades and genres.
This is an actual fiddle that belonged to Bob Wills, and we even have the original receipt where it was purchased in 1939 for $30.
Showcasing that diversity, not far away is a jacket and gold record from Houston-born chart toppers Destiny's Child.
I love the diversity of what's in here. I think if you ask people what Texas music is, there's probably a default that says, oh, that must be country. Well, it's country and it's blues and it's rock and roll and it's jazz. There's not a single genre that isn't represented in here.
When the doors first opened, some people first looked up at a giant guitar on the lobby ceiling. Then it's on to the exhibit area, where we heard over and over again about a flood of musical memories.
Oh, gosh, yes, absolutely. Janis Joplin, grew up listening to her. I can remember my folks telling me to, turn that blankety-blank music off. But I loved it.
Memories of when I was like 16, 17, 18, and just looking at all the pictures of the old posters. I remember the days going to the concerts.
I guess my favorite would probably be Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray Vaughan fans could see this guitar from his earliest days with a Dallas group called Cast of Thousands.
We have a picture of the band that was used for the album. The real fun part is the lead singer is Stephen Tobolowsky. He's the guy that most people know from Groundhog Day as Ned, Needle-Nosed Ned. That guy, unlikely as it seems, lead singer in Stevie Ray's first recording. Those are the sort of things I love, are these weird little quirks that we have moments when people go through here going, I did not know that.
This is a phenomenal piece that we have here.
This may first look like a record player, but it's actually an early recorder.
John and Al Lomax were two recording pioneers that are historical in American music history, and they did a lot of their field recordings here in Texas. From what we've been able to find out, even with the Smithsonian, they do not even have one of their field recorders. So this is an incredible piece.
You go from like the Lomax recorder, which is a one-of-a-kind, it shouldn't exist sort of thing, to a Barney poster that is a mass-produced, piece of junk. But they all represent something that is in the great story of Texas music.
Believe it or not, this is just a small part of the collection so far. We plan to expand a lot more. This is kind of a soft opening.
A few people braved the extreme heat to listen to concerts during this day-long event called the Big Opening Party. More live music, as well as other public and private activities, are expected here in the months to come.
We've already got weddings booked here. We've got other events that are getting planned.
Again, looking back,
This is going to be the Texas Music Garden area.
it's a big change for the long vacant space that was once a car dealership and later a sign shop.
What we decided to do was take it down to the structure, to the skeleton, and then kind of rebuild it and use materials and ideas that were similar to what was here, of the place, of the area, so that it was still familiar to the people that live here, that pass by it every day.
Completing the transformation took investment from the city of Irving and a lot of creativity.
Lastly, there was some thought put into creating something that gave it its own kind of DNA, unique to music. And so you've seen in walking around some of the signage that's a guitar pick, graphics on the windows that are of kind of ghosted images, and we really tried to provide something to give a little more pulse to the area here in Heritage Crossing.
I love the piano keyboard in the street. That just makes me happy.
The Convention and Visitors Bureau is not only happy about that piano, but also a potential economic impact.
You know what it does? It adds something else to the day. As we're trying to encourage people to spend extra time in Irving, spend extra time all over Irving, now we can, go get breakfast or lunch at Big State Drug, come down here, do the tour, go do the Ruth Payne House. We can start trying to build a day's worth of activities.
I think it'd bring a lot of people to the museum itself, and you know, it's just a good thing for Irving, trying to bring old Irving back.
So what's the deal with the guitar that has obviously been abused here?
The museum team has ideas to let visitors know some of the interesting background of these items.
What we really want to do is go back to our live tours, and we hope to do those during the weekends and sometimes during the weeks. And one little thing we're going to add to our live tours, we're actually going to be recruiting actors to kind of play the parts of Texas musicians. So you might have someone who's dressed up like Willie Nelson giving you a tour of the museum. You know, it just adds a whole different level of excitement.
Excitement about Lone Star lyrical legends and what this attraction could mean for the city of Irving.
What would you hope people get out of a visit to this museum?
Just a little bit of awe about the width and the breadth of the talent that we have had go through this great state.
It's all about bringing the music and the people to downtown Irving.
This is very, very exciting, very fun to see all of the memorabilia.